everybody. Welcome to All That Matters and More. Ikamala Mutudu.
And I'm Komiki, and welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we dive right into it, you know already what it is. Quick disclaimer and to let you know that the content we will be providing is for entertainment, educational, and informative purposes.
Yes, guys, with the disclaimer, I think it needs to change because I feel like Komiki is a registered counselor, and why do I always need to say that the information we're providing should not be considered as professional advice, and we have a whole professional? But I'm just going to touch upon it again. The information and opinions, as well as recommendations provided by us, should be by no means considered as medical or professional advice.
Thank you so much. I love that. You're so sweet. Not just only that, homegirl here is going to become a psychologist soon. So you know what it is.
But thank you for the well wishes and putting it out there in the universe. And I know soon you shall be joining within.
Definitely. We're going to be there.
You're going to be there.
You know
but you know, we're all pretty in black. You know what they say about black don't cry. And black is good.
How are you? You look great, by the way.
Great.
Thank you.
You look awesome. I'm awesome. I'm a bit tired, but I'm like really great.
Okay,
and
cool.
Yourself?
Girl, the eye bags are like rolling in, but you know what? We are here, we're moving, so I guess that's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what? Seeing as we're talking about how tired we are, I'm not gonna lie, I think winter has definitely been quite hectic, guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important for us today to touch on the importance of time out, okay? Especially in the workplace. I think right now we're just at a point where it's a little bit hectic in South Africa. We are on the go and now we are pushing more than ever, and now I think we've established that there's a lot of things that you need to kind of do on your own to get to where you need to get to. So I think it's definitely important to touch on the importance of time out, especially in the workplace. And I think not just only like in the workplace, like if you are going to work every day, but if you're hustling, if you're on yourself, like to get to where you need to get to, I think it's so important to touch on that. And not just only that, but I think the three main important factors that we are starting to forget as adults is obviously avoiding and overcoming burnout, presentism, as well as absenteeism.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, once we clear out the symptoms, will now figure out that actually I've been burned out. And I've been, being absent or presentism within the workplace. And like burnout just necessarily means you just have like chronic stress from the work environment and you're just like mentally exhausted. And not just only that, you're physically exhausted as well. And you've literally just tapped out. Like regardless of things changing, you're just not there emotionally. You just haven't checked in. And I think it's something for people to understand what burnout is and then how to overcome it. And the challenges that you go through with burnout, because obviously because you burnt out in the workspace, it kind of starts looking like professionally you declining. Like now you are not good at your job. But it's actually you being able to pinpoint what, what? Oh, manje. I got a break, like ngithatha a vacation. And not to say a vacation is definitely gonna help it, but you taking time out could literally mean anything.
And I think it's so important because like what you touch on, I think like as what we necessarily don't realize, obviously when you talk about mental health and mental illness, I think right now it impacts each and every single part of our lives. But not just only that, it affects you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And you are right. Those are the things, guys, that you need to make sure are always intact. You're checking up on, you're doing all of those things because like you're saying, professionally as well, you will definitely see a decline. Then you find yourself, hey, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. What excuse am I going to come up with? Also ditching as well, guys. Like that is also could be a major sign of burnout as well. Now you start to make little excuses in order for you to not to show up at work. Not realizing that if you actually just kind of take certain structures into place, such as taking your proper leave day, such as, I guess, overcoming it, basically taking proper leave days, making sure that, guys, your leave day is not 2-3 days. I'm so sorry, that does nothing.
Use your 21 days, guys.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because then you'll find in those 2-3 days, what are you doing? You're busy. Are you not addressing your burnout that you're supposed to be addressing in order for you to get back to work, to make sure that you're performing and you're doing what you need to do? So I think another thing is obviously making proper structures, taking those things into consideration and accountability. Your day offs, days where you do know that you necessarily weren't as busy, taking advantage of those days as well, things such as, guys, like everyday things that we cannot stress the importance of.
And just like a simple one to add on, guys, your lunch breaks, your tea breaks.
Yeah.
Guys, one thing about
her, actually.
I will take my lunch. I'm not kidding. I am taking my lunch. Right? If I can't get it during the day because like of workflow, it needs to be somewhere down the line, because I am definitely going on lunch. I am definitely going on tea, guys, because those are that's your like own time to literally just distress from the pressures of from the pressures of work, just to literally distress and be like, okay, he's cut some manje, it's and settle in and probably just reflect on how the day has been going. So sometimes we understand that certain workspaces could be just, high pressure environments, but do take your break, guys. You have 1 hour lunch, utilize it. Don't try to bombard yourself with so much work, even if you need time out. Yeah. And that's where like presentism is. It's like, uyakula, but you're still going to work.
Thank you, yeah.
Umset awudli lunch. That's a problem.
And like what Didi was saying, guys, if you're not present at work, what are you doing there to begin with? That's just my opinion. Like, I get it. We all have a lot going on, but presentism, I think, is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? And also being present when you know you're supposed to be there and doing what you need to do. You need to take care of yourself. It's not going to happen because now you decided, I'm just going to go to work for the sake of going to work. No, you need to sort that burnout first. You need to figure out what am I feeling also when I'm burnt out, and also reflecting on it as well to make sure that you don't do the same things over and over again. Because you know how we human beings are sometimes, right? Like, child, we be like, no, I've sorted it out. Yeah, next time it comes back and it hits you like a ton of bricks and you're like, ooh. But if you had addressed your burnout, if you had overcome it successfully the first time around, this time around, then you quickly know, oh, I'm feeling this. Let me take a step back. What do I need to do in order for myself to regain my strength and then, move forward?
Yeah, and I think we've just said, sometimes overcoming and addressing your burnout literally just means you having a conversation with management.
Yeah.
And even if it's just not burnout, but going into absenteeism, presentism, because regardless of if they can just direct your motivation or reward or probably be lenient on the control within the organization, that doesn't necessarily mean that your burnout will be over or presentism will be over. But it's just having those conversations to say, okay, the reason I come to work when I'm even sick, when I shouldn't, is because I fear, loss of job security. Or the reason where I'm burnt out and I'm just really not functioning is because I would appreciate whatever, sort of like if I could get a bit of control with the work that I do, or if I can the reward could slightly be better. Irregardless, guys, have those conversations, because no amount of job is worth your health. You being burnout, like Komiki touched on, really does affect you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Yeah.
So you need to have that, because I know, like with my last job, I left because I was literally burnt the hell out.
Yeah.
And I think I was just also going through absenteeism, It's like either I will make excuses not to go to work, but I'd always go to work anyway. Or I'd just be there, but emotionally tapped out. Like I just really wanted to see myself out of that space. And I think a lot of people do go through it now.
Yeah.
Because now,
that's number one.
You get what I'm saying? We're all desperate for jobs right about now. So, ka mo hape, or isho itse ha ke sa ye mmerekong, ba kana ba ngoba, or ha ba re trencha pila so mara ba ka mpala mo.
Yeah.
So just, guys, time out for yourself to be good. Necessary.
Yeah, it's very important. I also like the fact that you touched on talking to management, guys, transparency as well. I think the one thing that we need to be very serious about, like in this case, burnout, like you need to be honest, bro. Like sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I'm the worst. Like I feel like I overwork and I overdo it, and I can feel that I'm tired, and I'm just like, let me just push a little bit longer, or let me just do this and stuff. And I think one thing where I can also say that, like, I'm very wrong for the situation. Girl, like, sometimes I don't even take lunch. Hey, when I know, Hore, Fandi, you've always been the type to be like, Joe, like,
take your lunch,
take a break. So I think, wow, I actually didn't even think about the management thing sometimes, okay? Because I think that stems from, I think sometimes you just being shy and being like, oh, they're going to think I'm like a worse, or, but you're actually right. It's stopping you from having a much more of a worse ripple effect. and hindering actually your future in order for you to perform better, in order for them to consider you as something that's a lot more of value and asset to the company, guys.
Yeah.
So with burnout as well, you definitely are right. Actually, it can get you to a point now where you also are negative. Like it actually is like multifaceted. We just thought that, wow, you got me thinking on like a whole different level.
And the thing is, there's like a lot of cynicism. Is that the word? Cynicism. Is that the word?
Cynicism.
I don't know, guys, but that's the word. You guys know what it means.
Yeah.
You know? But you just have that towards your workplace, or you just have like negative feelings about it, or you just like hate everybody. And I think sometimes, guys, addressing these things, right? You start, just to go back, you need to have an effective employee.
Yeah.
There's no point in having an employee that's there and they're not doing good. And because one thing I know about myself, regardless of what I do, I'm good at it, period.
Love that.
Me calling myself. So it's just that for your employee to be at a better space, you need to address that. You need to say, you know what, I want good health for the people that work for me.
Yeah.
So that even when they are engaging with clients or other people, they need to receive that sort of energy that actually, man, good vibes only. And good vibes would require what? Time out. When it's time for you to head out,
time for you to head out. And then once again, you're avoiding that burnout. You actually are avoiding kind of like sweeping those emotions under the rug just to be like me who doesn't take lunch, for example. Now I know, I need to take lunch. I need to pull myself out of the situation in order for me to come back refreshed and try and see how I can finish off the day.
Yeah.
Now you'll be a lot more present, child. Like when they're like, we have a deadline at this time, beforehand, you've done it. If they're like, yo, there's a mistake, you still also are refreshed to be like, let me fix it. And then also like, Tina, Sinjani, when you're like, yo, Yakula. Because you don't want to go to work, you will stop that as well because you are effective,
True.
Yeah.
And yes, guys, I hope the tips that we gave are so key.
Yeah.
And you're able to look at them to be like, oh my gosh, I experienced that, And the lovely ladies on this couch just literally shared ways that you can equip yourself to say, okay, when I recognize that I'm mentally exhausted, or I just have negative emotions about my workplace, I'm trying find ways not to go to work, then what, gahle, I'm not at the right place. And it's either you take time out to deal with it and utilize your leave days, or you literally start looking for a new job, because literally no amount of job is worth your health, because your health is way more important, So that's it for me.
Yeah, no, and I think definitely we're touching out with burnout, guys. Like, if we are all adults, guys, like, it's tough. I think, like, in this case, I should have maybe not said South Africa, bro. Like, it's tough everywhere now.
Everywhere.
Like, everywhere is tough. If you do not take that time out, y'all, like, if you don't go time out, then I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you will not be able to function effectively. You will not be able to do what you need to do. And then you'll find now to do things like when you do now need your job, you're burnt out. You're not present. Now you're absent. And for what? Like you're saying once again.
And now you're being more officey. Like,
and let's just get it together when it comes to that, So I think it's definitely, guys, like it's so important for you to check in with yourself. I know we sometimes take these things, how sometimes things are taken for granted. Like Dutu and I are going to touch on these things, guys. We'll even link them so that you guys can get it. We have to. This is the only way that we're going to combat and make sure that we can get a lot of people on the right track when it comes to their mental health,
Yeah.
Any last words, my darling?
No, girl, I talk too much, so let's just...
So, guys, that's it on the importance of time out, okay? Please do definitely let us know, guys, any comments, questions, concerns, queries, something you guys would like us to maybe touch on, somebody you'd like to have us chilling with here, having a discussion about, guys. Please do definitely let us know on Instagram. It is Matters and More, okay? And then once again, guys, YouTube, when you do have time, no pressure at all. Please like and subscribe and Matters and More. And please stay tuned for our TikTok. We are almost there.
And yes, guys, you can definitely email us on info@mattersandmore.co.za. And that's a wrap.